Hi guys, Pete the Great, and today I'm going to review chapter 506 of Kingdom. So, this week's chapter starts off where we left off last week with the charge of the mountain tribe towards the gates of Rutsubi, the city that they're about to siege. And we see that Karyoten, like last week, expresses concern. Oh, sorry, expresses concern about charging head on uh, because they have archers on the top of the ramparts who will probably just rain down arrows and kill all of the uh, Yotanwa soldiers. But as we see, there's a tribe called the Hika or the Flying Horse. Not sure if it's really Hika, but and basically they just outsped the rain of arrows that Carrollton, as she predicted, that actually happened. Um, and we see that they managed to get to in front of the gates, and then Ritsugi soldiers are panicking and they're closing the gates. But at that point, the mounted tribe starts climbing up the ramparts, but they probably won't manage to get really far, as we later find out. But before that, we get a jump cut and we get to see Ohan. And Ohan has just apparently managed to stop while they were marching, there was like an army that tried to slow down their walk. And Osen basically sent Kanki, and I think Ohan went with them, but I'm not sure. And they basically stopped the enemy. And now, they're about to resume their march. And they hear that Ritsubi is already under attack. And they automatically assume that it's like, the main force is there. But then they hear that they actually just left Yotanwa and Hishin, as we know. So Ohan then proceeds to try and cover up his real intention by saying, like, "Oh, it's the first battle. I must see how it ends, as it is one of the most crucial battles of this campaign." But Kanjo calls him for his bullshit and says, like, you just want to see the Hishin unit in action, and he starts mocking him a bit. And like one of the aides, well, the advisors are just is basically saying like, Hanjo, stop mocking him. And I find it funny because it goes to show that even though he's always like shown despising Shin, and mocking him and saying he's ridicule and that he's just a lowly peasant, which is true, but no need to rub it in. And we see that he still has some kind of respect for him, because I mean it's kind of impossible to not respect what Shin has done. I mean, he started from a lowly peasant and he's climbed all the way to the same rank as you. So, it's just good to see that Ohan isn't just a complete jerk when it comes to Shin. And so basically, we learned that he's gonna go and watch the fight. And Kanjo, who was actually mocking him, says, "I ain't got no problem admitting it. I want to see what their progress is." So he's actually going with them, with Ohan. And then we get back to the actual assault of Ritsubi, and we see that they're climbing, but they're getting stopped, and basically they're going nowhere. So Yotam was circling around the ramparts, and she spots something. We don't know what, but she says like, "Oh, that's where we need to go to stop them." So they stop them, and basically she goes like, she goes to Shin. What did she say? She says to Shin that come on, think. Oh yeah, she says to Shin like, "Oh, okay, I have a plan. We'll send Baijo and the Choka tribe there." And Shin's like, "Oh, okay." And she says, "But there's a key piece missing to my strategy." And then Shin is like, "What key piece?" And then we finally get the not introduction, but the like first showcase for the two archers that are in the Haitian unit. Because Yutama was actually asking Shin for archers, and he says, "Yeah, we got some incredible ones." And then we see they're all stressed, they're sweating, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go to war finally." And then the other one's like, "Shut up, you brought me here." And it's kind of funny. I mean, they're gonna be probably comic relief for a long time in this series. And basically, what I thought when I read this chapter was because that's the end of the chapter. What I thought when I read this chapter was Yotana is actually more impressive than I thought. I thought she was just an instinctual type, but I mean, not just an instinctual, as it's nothing, but I thought she was one type predominantly, but apparently from this chapter you could probably argue that she's also strategical, which means that um, she can adapt a lot more than someone that's just instinctual. Like she could react to traps, she could react to changes in scenarios and unforeseen events. So basically, she has impressed me today in this chapter, and to that point, I think that I should have thought about it because uh, she's a mountain tribe woman, but she managed to conquer all the mountain tribes, which no one has done. So you can think, okay, she's a mountain tribe, so she's got the innate art of warfare. Like she's instinctual due to her nature, but at the same time, you could say, yeah, she's that, but she's the only one amongst that has done something as big as being able to defeat and make every single tribe, well, not every single, but a lot of tribes, join forces, which would mean that she's done something different, which would then give strength to the argument that she's actually a strategical type in general. So it was kind of interesting to see that in this chapter. Um, then the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I'm glad that we're actually already the to getting a first showcase for those two archers, because I think that it's really important for the Hishin unit that they get the Hishin unit, like the Ohan unit, like the Moten unit. I think it's really time that someone else amongst the ranks uh, starts rising, like the ranks, and eventually will be a 5,000 man commander, because think about it, they're going to be generals, right? And when you're a general, you're not a unit. You're an army. So as an army, you need strong people. Like you'll be the general, but you need strong people under. And right now, I don't know. I mean, the Hishin unit, as it's the one that we're following, we probably get more detail out of the characters. So maybe the Ohan and the Moten army already have those kinds of people, but we just haven't met them yet, which would kind of be weird, but maybe. Uh, but yeah, basically they have Kyokai in the Shin unit. And what I'll probably think I'll do a separate video on this, but like they have Kyokai. But besides that, like what N is a lieutenant, so like when you have one of your lieutenant spots occupied by N, it kind of shows that like you're kind of lacking a bit, unless N gets a super huge power up, which I don't think, because in the last great battle, it was actually shown that they actually stated that not that he sucks, but he's not. He has nothing really remarkable about him. So like it was really, uh, Shin trusted him with a mission, and all the others were like, really, why do you trust him? So who knows? I mean, the cavalry dude, I think his name is So Sweet. Maybe that guy will rise above in the ranks. I mean, when you think about it, Heiki is a general, and he wasn't really, he's not really that impressive to the point that Yotoma actually forgot that he was there in the first arc. And yeah, so basically, I'm glad, because that means that you know they may be, because in the newcomers, that's where I think you'll get the next big thing, in the Haitian unit. And I don't know if the Moten and Ohan unit got the same kind of treatment. I think Gyokuho and what's the other one? Anyways, Moten's unit. I don't think they had the same treatment. Did they do the same training? Did they recruit like that? Maybe they just recruited in noble families, because they're nobles. Uh, but yeah, I'm glad that they did that recruiting segment that they did like 10 chapters ago or 15 chapters ago. because it means that it won't just be like, oh, this character that was really weak that you just thought of like a relatable character, but you knew he would never raise. They're not gonna raise. Like I mean, P. probably will always be a 100-man commander at best, like at best, and or maybe a 300 because, but he won't go any higher. I think personally, which means that you need people that are gonna raise above him. And when you get that new conscription, that draft, you basically get, because they did tests, which Bihei didn't do. Lucky for him, as he stated. Uh, when you get those tests, basically what you can do is get the best. The ones with the best potential per se. So I'm glad that they actually got in the two brothers, and I'm glad that they're actually getting to show it now because that means that we won't have to wait as much to be for them to be like an eminent figure in the Haitian unit, which is something I really like. I really like to see because you have Kyokai, you have Shin, and that's pretty much it. Like in terms of heavy firepower. And I wish that they had someone else. And the Chu army got that guy with the legendary sword, I think the Bakuya sword, and his friend that's an archer. It's already one of the 10 bows. So I think it's pretty good to have one of the not 10 bows, but someone that could be considered one of the 10 bows in your unit. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I'll try. I think I'll do a video about what I just talked about in a few days, maybe, or maybe with my next review, I'll do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment what you thought about the chapter and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, catch you guys later.